Welcome to a Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
I am here. Hello.
Got another one of them white Gatorades, man. You're the reason I can't find it.
Real quick, we got the Arnold Palmer Invitational this weekend. We've got a deal going on with them at tomanddan.com. You can buy tickets to the White Claw fan deck.
Yes.
And our site is the only site that you can buy tickets through that give you this discount. For $100, you get access to the fan deck, which comes with a seat. It comes with air-conditioned bathrooms, your own personal bar.
I think that's like the most
food
important
truck.
two parts.
Yeah,
bar and bathroom.
Yeah. And it's only $20 more than the actual general admission cost. So if you like golf, you want to see some of the best golfers in the world, it's all weekend long. Starts on Thursday.
Yeah.
We're going to be out there on Thursday.
I'm blanking on where it's situated. Is it between the 15th and 16th, or am I wrong on that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so somebody told me on YouTube, we have a lady that subscribes to our YouTube channel, Tom and Dan Live, at Tom and Dan Live, and she said, is it in the same area? Because she's been before, and she says, without a doubt, I've been there.
It's the same area.
It's the best ticket, though, because you get to see all of the golfers walk through. You have the option to. Plus, you just have some, like, amenities that other people don't get.
Well, I've heard some BDMs that went the prior years and stayed, like, got the White Claw fan deck tickets, and they're like, it's worth it just for the bathrooms, and just have a bar right there. And, like, you can go wherever you want. You can follow the golfers, but to have a home base and a bar and bathrooms and
it's
food,
just better. Place to camp out.
Seats, anyway. So,
a seat sounds nice.
That's going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. So we appreciate
I'm so
those
excited
guys.
that we're a part of it, because when I see the
I know.
commercials, I was
Dude,
watching
it's
the commercial.
gigantic.
Yeah, it's so huge.
Look, this is too fancy for us. You know it.
That's so okay. I didn't want to say that, but like we were watching one of the commercials last night because I'm the one that still has commercials.
It's a huge deal.
And one
It
of the
is.
big, one of the big Arnold Palmer commercials came on, presented by MasterCard, I should say. And Maisie goes, "Wow, that." Andrea's like, "Your daddy's part of that." I'm like, "Daddy's part of that. I am part of that. I am fancy."
Oh, you
Or
impressed
we're
her
just-
finally.
I did finally impress her with.
We're just
when
hawking
she was just
some
looking
White
at
Claw tickets.
Rory
No, we're just gonna get
McIlroy.
drunk at a fan deck.
She knows
Yeah,
who Tiger
yeah.
Woods is. She knows who Rory McIlroy is. So Andrea and Maisie watch sports, a lot of sports. And so it doesn't surprise me that she was the only thing that I've ever impressed her is that we are partnered with the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard.
So, Daniel, tell me about this
Oh, no, it's happening.
radio
It's your wish.
Chat GPT.
Well, before we got on the air, I actually was filling out the last little bit of the documentation to see maybe if I can get a test demo of, it's not Chat GPT. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at Radio GPT.
So
It's by the Futuri Corporation. I'm guessing they'll be a silicon company. Let me find this so I can show you.
when you told me about, I read something this morning, and basically it's AI and it's computer-generated voice that can essentially talk up the post to music and then read the news and current events, and then it even said it could throw in jokes.
Yes.
Like basically playing the part of a human DJ playing music.
Yes. So here, and I even believe that in their introduction video, they're using a fake voice. And I'm using fake for the term of AI here, just so dumb people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Fake voice with also a computer-generated and fake avatar for the lady. So you can see her up there. It says, introducing Radio
That looks like a real lady.
It does, but wait till she moves a little bit, and you're like, what am I playing, Call of Duty? Okay, here we go. This is, ladies and gentlemen, Jack may not want me to play this. Well, Jack's okay, but, Taco Bob and Pat, they definitely don't want me to play this. No, but I'm just
How
saying,
dare
anybody
you.
that plays music, you don't want me to play this. So here we go. This is introducing Radio GPT.
Futuri is revolutionizing the audio industry with the launch of RadioGPT, the world's first AI-driven localized radio content solution.
I wish my wife talked to me like that. She just looks so happy, this fake lady.
RadioGPT combines the power of GPT-3 technology with Futuri's AI-driven story discovery and social content system.
Okay, to explain basically what the Futuri's Topic Pulse Story Discovery System is, because I had to read about that to explain it to you guys. Apparently this thing, as it's talking, and you control the music, that's the one thing that they have been pretty adamant about saying, that the computer does not pick the music. You are still in charge of the, quote, music logs. But what the Futuri's Topic Pulse Story Discovery System does is it it's going through news stories of the day, supposedly real time, and pulling little tidbits to use for its chit chat feature.
Yeah.
So it could be like, it can throw in a quip about like, I don't know what's going on. I didn't hear
some
much.
local news.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. I saw one this morning about Chris Rock. Chris Rock is now ready to release his Netflix special about a week in front of the Oscars. It's all planned, and so and she could say she'd be
well,
Chris Rock.
GPT couldn't predict that like old Tom Van. Sorry.
Probably could.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think anybody.
If
could.
it ran the
Yeah,
numbers.
It was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like that you never forget.
So the now this is not okay.
And I signed up for it. By
this.
the way, I signed up to see if they will, because they asked me what kind of company we have. We have a media company. Do we have time on the airwaves? Yes, we do. How much time would we need? I said an hour. I said we need an hour
Let's
of
let
AI.
this thing roll and let's get the hell out of here.
That's what I'm thinking. Let's let this thing roll for the second hour of ACT and just play music.
All right,
And we'll sponsor it. We'll sponsor the future. And Jack could
Yeah.
say, if people like, oh, we don't like it, Jack could say they're sponsoring the future. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Give them an excuse.
No one will say it. I don't even
No,
know.
no one will listen. They'll be like, this music's great.
I love this playlist.
It's
So-
better than that dumb show they used to have on. Who's this lovely lady talking to me? They're giving me all the quips and the knowledge.
So let's go, like rewind a little bit. So because before we think about
Feeling very Winslowy today.
all right, this is like taking humans' jobs. It's not
It's
really
not.
the technology's fault. It's actually corporate radio's
Let's
fault.
beat up the robots.
Well, hold on, because the it's corporate radio's fault that this
Of
is
course.
even an option.
It's
right?
corporations in general that are like, you know what's cheaper?
No, not even because of that. Because they were the reason a robot can do this.
Yeah,
because
they
they
created
made it
it.
so generic.
Yeah, there's nothing
The
unique
pl-
about it.
The
The format is as boring and tried as it could be.
Well, all the corporations bought up all the local radio stations, right? So
Sure.
then they took the place of the local disc jockey, I put that in quotes, curating the music and playing it or whatever, and they just decided to make like all the playlists, because like everything you hear on the radio is coming, if it's a giant corporation,
It's still
that own
selected
the
by hand, supposedly.
No, I've never seen it.
No,
it comes down from corporate playlists.
Yeah, but it's still no. There's no like computer deciding what music to
No,
play.
no. But I'm saying it comes down from the head company
Yeah,
to
and then they
100 different radio
Right.
stations. That's what I'm saying.
And then
It's
you
just
get
all the
small
same.
shows like Native Noise. You'll get a small show that, like a local show, they have a lot of I guess,
course, yeah.
ability to change and do what they want to do. But yeah, for the most part, the big company says all of our rock stations are going to sound like X.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of our easy listing stations are going to sound like X for the
Our
most
pop
part.
sta- you
For the
know,
most part.
and-
I thought you meant that because they're real adamant about like, no, this thing, we do not pick music. We are literally just the voice.
Yeah. Because now you can make the argument that the computer could, which essentially is, I'm guessing, what the giant corporations do, is they're just playing the most popular downloaded songs, worldwide
Sometimes
or
you
whatever.
still need people to find those people. Sometimes
yeah.
you still need people to say this is a cool song. I'm not willing to give that up just yet.
No. But what I'm saying is it's the giant corporations that caused it to be so generic that now anybody who plays music currently on the radio, and like they've been working and like so long that listeners know their personality and
Right.
and that kind of thing. So
Familiarity is
you're not going to
there.
replace some like we just joked around about Taco Bob. And Pat Lynch, you're not going to replace Taco and Pat Lynch
No.
with a robot. The listeners.
Well, they're a talk show anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But also they've been in this town for 25 years.
Sure.
Everybody, the listeners on. But the new hires. This is.
Oh, yeah.
because no
Yeah,
one's
yeah.
gonna. Because if a robot
it's like
can
drones
just.
to army men, right? It's like drones are easy. It's easiest to fly those than
Yeah.
it is to. You'll
Yeah.
go to a different job.
Like,
we'll give you something else.
For sure, in the future, I could see if a corporation was looking like, okay, we there's this pop station, we need someone just to intro the songs and do a little local news instead of paying a human as the cashier, right? Like now,
Right.
a human obviously currently is better than subjectively better than the AI, I believe, right now.
I want to get
But
an
in the
example.
future, I mean, dude, I've seen, newscasters, not to talk ass about newscasters, but there's a lot of newscasters that just read teleprompters and read the news or what's going on. Like,
so they better be better than these robots if they're coming for you.
Well,
you better put something better.
Dude, I'll take an animated newscast.
Because what are they like? They've been trained to take their
You'd
own
have to have a computer
subjectivity
draw
out of
everything to fully take. You see what I'm saying? Like if you had humans drawing the animation, that'd be kind of funny.
You know, so if it's
More
just
time and money, though.
Yeah. Oh, totally more. Well, unless you send it overseas, which a lot of those cartoons. Oh, that's a dirty business.
Now, how good at like when it says that?
I want to see if there's an example. Hold on. Let's go a little further into it.
Topic Pulse, as well as AI voice tech to provide I can see what's in your music
Okay, here it
log
is, here
and
it is.
talk about the songs or artists on your station. I can see what's happening in your local market right now and talk about it in real time. I can post on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok during my show and talk about what's coming up.
What? It can post while it's doing the show? That's pretty dope. That's better than me. I can't even do that.
It's doing
It's hard to do that.
what the corporate mandate is telling humans to do,
Yeah.
but this could do way more efficiently because
ultimately efficiently.
now how much does a listener care? I don't listen to music radio. I
Right.
never have. So I don't know how much the actual consumer of that product cares about the human presenting the music. I don't know.
And I'm super weird in that space, and I'll tell you why. Because I do listen to music radio, but I don't listen to music radio with DJs. But I prefer to have music curated for me and presented to me with no skip button versus just an endless sea of stuff to listen to. I find myself listening to like XM or even just a playlist on Spotify more than anything.
Yeah, now Spotify they're curating it based on your likes. And
Well, no, not certain playlists, not everything.
Okay,
And so I don't
okay.
want to spout misinformation. If you just go to a playlist and say
You're right. Yeah.
rock music, it's not going to go. It's not based on anything other than you said rock music. We're giving you that.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a more generic playlist.
And that's what I like. Maybe I'm just basic bitch, but there's something about me being in that space for so long where there is a certain amount of curiosity that I like, leading to like not knowing what the next song is going to be. I don't know what that is.
See, like, it's all kind of all for nothing because it seems.
Write that down. That's a good title.
Well, it seems like all this generic stuff of like, hey, we'll have this generic
we're going
AI
ultra
DJ.
generic with everything, right?
Well, no. Well, it seems like everything is going ultra curated to the individual person because of everybody's algorithm, right? So it's like now.
No, but I mean like this, if you heard this same thing on a bunch of stations, that's what I mean by overly generic. It's like our solutions for things are becoming like, look at my car, for instance. That Tesla that I have, it looks exactly, everything's going very utilitarian. Like, it just looks like this and it functions like this, There's no individuality. My car is the least individualistic car you could ever own. It looks like a bar of white soap, and there are millions of other people that have it.
But you say least, but it's least on the looks, but the technology is
It's
most
efficient. It's efficient.
But the most curated towards what the person riding in the car wants because
That's true.
It takes anything you search for, anything you talk about, anything you've ever listened
All your
to,
settings,
curates into algorithm and then pumps it back to you. So everybody's like generic white car in the future is just going to be playing anything that person likes and is curated to them. Only
much do we
specifically
use that,
to
though?
Daniel Dennis, it's going to play your favorite punk rock, your favorite information about scooters, everything
But the
that
study
you like.
I would be interested in knowing, because
Commercial is going to be marketing commercials to you personally.
but how often are people taking full advantage of everything that can be curated for them?
They don't even have to because their phone is doing it secretly.
No, I know, but
You
I'm
know,
just saying.
their phone is
my
just
point is though,
collecting it.
like a lot of people don't even take advantage of it.
No, they don't because they don't care. But that's what technology is doing. They know people are too lazy and don't understand the technology. I mean, me, I don't. Like besides from the joke about trying to curate my own TikTok by searching things or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm doing it with my phone. Anything you ever look at in your phone is being,
Being recorded.
the technology
It's being recorded, yeah.
is being consumed.
You're
and
leaving
then,
a footprint.
And then back, everything is being marketed back towards you and all your entertainment that you like, and it's becoming very individualistic.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't even use it, though. Like, I try to use everything a little bit just to see, but I just want to see one more thing, what she says here.
I am great at teasing and pre-promoting content going into breaks. I can talk about the weather or traffic. I can see how many people are listening right now through Futury streaming and say hello to certain locations.
Stop looking at me, robot.
I can take open mic audio from listeners using Futury Mobile and incorporate their thoughts, questions, and
thoughts.
feedback into my show.
Okay, that's the one
Hold
I wanted
on.
to show you guys.
Incorporate my thoughts. Now, hold on now.
Well, if you're sharing them. She's not going in your brain yet.
She
but
said she could see into my brain.
I like that. I like that one was the one that as I was pontificating on the potty this morning while reading this or watching it, I was like, holy crap, like they can do the old call-in. Like they can have people calling in. The robot can answer. It can be like, thank you for calling. What's on your mind? You know, and then you say it, and then it cuts up the audio and then puts it in a little package. I just want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Well,
do they give me a version at the end?
For sure.
Oh, they can give away.
Companies like iHeart are
prizes.
probably already experimenting on this.
Probably already have their own.
Just as a joke at first. They're like, hey, look at this radio.
That's
like,
never a joke.
Well, they're going to be like, do people care? Replace them all. But it's also, the more I watch this, I'm like, they're offering something that's already antiquated, I feel. Like, I don't think anybody is, in the future, like future generations are seeking out a DJ to tell them any of this. It's like their phone.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this can do what was popular 30 years ago, but it's like I don't think anybody cares about this anymore.
I mean, they do, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that. People don't just instantly stop caring about something. You know, people have to die, things have to change.
No, it's
Our
slow.
traditions are, it's slow.
I'm just saying, like, when you look at future technology, you look at it changing things moving forward, and I'm like, I think,
and some things don't though, right? Like, is there one piece of technology you can think of that is just not changing?
Well, yeah, I mean,
not really.
I'll give you a good one that is in our world. These microphones are so frigging old, but people still buy them brand new every single day. And then Rode, the microphone manufacturer, tried to come at the Shure SM7B with their Rode pod mic, and they did. And I think they took a little bit of the percentage probably from people buying those microphones, but not enough to even matter. It's crazy how these things last.
Well, the microphone, it's like you need it to do a specific job, and there's only so good that it can get. And then after that, there's nothing really else, I guess, besides making it super small or something. I don't know.
The Rode mic is smaller. Yeah, it's more compact and easier to carry and cheaper, number one.
Yeah, that doesn't really change the idea of how we do things. The VR is slowly is going slower than I thought. You know, it's like the novelty. Everybody's like, we were into it. And
well,
then
the hype doesn't necessarily like dictate how fast the technology is getting better.
Like, we were excited about it, the novelty of it, and then I don't find myself going back to the VR for anything. I even checked out the VR porn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was like,
of course you did.
It was like, whoa, this is cool, but it wasn't something that
it's too complicated. I need a more simpler porn.
Well,
just give me a drawing on a piece of paper.
But it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I gotta have this. This is better. So much better than the other.
Well,
it was
I don't want to wear, like, if you're gonna give me entertainment, it's got to be something that I don't have to like wear on my body.
And then it's
a little clunky.
Yeah, I can't be wearing, like, I wear a pair of glasses. That's about as good as I'll get. Maybe a diaper, maybe like electronic diaper, but that's about it.
It seems like the video games that the VR people kind of just would prefer regular video games. You know, like the VR video games are cool, but it's not like that everybody is switching over to it and
can't
like
eat
way
pizza
better.
while you're doing VR.
Yeah.
Seriously, you can't drink Mountain Dew as easily if you're doing VR.
Yeah. It's like it's not there yet. I see the potential of it, but it didn't like all of a sudden change
And
everything.
did that fade with your boys as well?
The VR?
Yeah.
No,
it did with Maisie. Maisie was like hot on it, like when she was doing it at school. But if I don't mention it, she never is like, I want to do it.
They were playing it yesterday, but it becomes complicated, and then they just gravitate back towards Roblox. Because of the interaction they have with their friends. And I think
the social aspect of it.
And because all their friends aren't playing VR, but they all have screens, it's kind of like we're at that area, you know.
I think I'm very interested in this because I'd love to get it and play around with it. In fact, remind me, Sam, to message them and see if maybe they would just get, I'm not even a company but I just want to use it. Just, could you let me use it and mess around with it?
Now, it won't it won't replace people's need to hear other humans like we saw, or like the human aspect of it. But if it's just presenting information, like I said, like newscasters, this is more. I feel like this will affect the news more than it will affect DJs, because I feel like they're already phasing out radio DJs, and then the ones that last are the ones that have the personality that AI can't do, you know? But
I feel like the news is going away. I don't know anyone that watches the news anymore.
Well, because your news is in your pocket.
Yeah. It is going away, but there'll still be a certain amount of, millions of old people that still prefer to like have something presented to them at a certain time. But
oh my God, that's me with my music.
But I can imagine.
Yeah, but when does that generation die out, and then nobody's watching the news?
30 years, 20 years, like.
I mean, they're already. I think they're already cutting their costs to a point of where their personalities will be their only salaries. I feel like.
Although the news, that's why I'm on the news. Trains you to take your personality out of it, take your subjectivity out of it,
And this is a lot easier for these guys. They'll never get into trouble.
Right.
These guys only say what you put in there.
So that's the thing. It's like for newscasters, I would feel like I'd start putting a little more of my own personality into it.
But the sweet spot,
so that you save your job.
No, hold on a second. The sweet spot's gonna be, now follow me with this. The sweet spot in Orlando is gonna be when 6, 9, and Channel 2 and 35. When they all get one robot on the cast.
And then they interact with it?
And they have to interact with it. That's where it's going to be awesome. Where you got, because they're not going to be able to cut them all.
Yeah.
So they're going to cut first guy. You know who's the first guy.
Seacrest.
Who's going to be the first guy that gets cut. Just job-wise.
Locally?
Not a specific person, just a type of job.
Weatherman.
No, he's too important.
Is he? I mean,
yeah, he is.
You could present the weather.
People like him more than one guy. There's one guy that's always the guy that people don't like.
Traffic?
Sports. Sports guy will be cut first. You don't need him.
Yeah, I guess.
They never give enough time for sports. After knowing when Andrea worked at WESH, they would get down and all the sports guys would I hope I'm not blowing up their spot, but they'd always bitch because they're like, they only give us 2 minutes. And that's why they always got to do a little bit. And then we got to squeeze high school in there and all this garbage sports that nobody cares about. Nobody cares about your stupid high school sports. Don't even put that on there.
I mean, if no offense to the anchors, but they're just sitting behind a desk reading the teleprompter, right? I mean, and presenting the next story, and then.
Yeah.
But they would say they're giving a level of comfort. They're giving a friendly voice.
I never feel comfort when I watch the news.
But they are giving a sense of comfort to their listeners. They're being able to deliver those stories you don't like, Sam, with a sense of comfort that calms other people down. And it's their delivery that actually is the ratings.
That sense of comfort means that you're trying your best to take emotion out of it, right? And guess who could do that really good? Robots. So it's like,
you should be a newscaster. You would be good at it.
Like
you could read.
Well, you know who's
the
better?
only thing holding you back.
A robot. Like a robot can do, can take subjectivity out of just presenting the news, and with the ultimate sense of no emotion, comfort, right?
The only thing it would have trouble with is probably reading names, right? Because it probably doesn't know how to pronounce specific names.
But it can.
If it's AI, it does, because
it can search.
It would search the internet,
and it would search videos and how it was said, and then it would find it.
Yeah.
I already looked that up in there. Yeah, it knows how to do certain things because it has the amount of information.
Think about it. It's doing what we do on the internet, but 10,000 times more efficiently.
Yeah.
It could do it in a split second. So, like, when we have guests come in...
So is this you guys telling me you're replacing me with a robot?
No, because here's the thing. It cannot...
You can let it talk for you if you want to. But
all AI can do
and
is...
put it on
only
Twitch
on Tuesdays. Only on Tuesdays.
Robot Tuesdays.
It could just present. Everybody... Well, I mean, not immediately, but if you have a job that you think to yourself, well, it's pretty easy... I think a robot can do this, then a robot will eventually do it. It's 100%. Like, look at when you are cleaning the floors at Walmart, right? There used to be a janitor to do that. they realized a robot can do this, and
I've
everybody.
never seen their floor robot cleaning anything. I want to see it. I've heard it's pretty
They
impressive.
typically try and do it like at
overnight.
night.
I heard it's impressive when you see it though.
Stalking.
It's kind of scary because I'm like, this thing's gonna run me over one day.
It's big, right?
Yeah,
It's
big.
huge.
Like I used to work at Home Depot, and I'm sure they still have the program. They do all the overnight stalking, right?
Yeah.
I'm virtually certain that they're probably trying. Old who's the Arthur
Bezos?
Blank.
Oh yeah, the old
like-
Home Depot,
like,
old weird mustache Arthur Blank.
They're looking into, can we just have like the shipments come in and then the robots know exactly where to go and put the product on the shelves, and then have a team of robots do it overnight, right? Like, with all stocking, anything that could be done by a robot will be, right? Why not?
It's heading that way. I just thought this was interesting. And then apparently the last piece of news I would add to the end of this is for people that say, well, no, that's just, right now we're in that golden age of people showing like, oh, look, here's Chat GPT, but nobody's really buying it. There is a company in the Midwest who owns a group of 200 very small radio stations who has already purchased this because for them, this is perfect for your like medium size, but you still own a decent amount of radio stations. It's perfect for you. You automate it. You save a ton of money in areas where, you don't have a lot of people living maybe,
Well, okay, follow this. So
Well, that's the new one. Follow this is
Now
the
we're
new one.
shortening it.
I'm trying
Wait,
to.
what
From follow me here to follow this.
I'm gonna stop saying that.
What if
Idiot.
it says,
Stupid idiot.
What if you said FMH? What if you said FMH, my brothers?
Why don't I even have to say that? I'll
Yeah,
start talking,
what if you
and
said-
then I'll just assume you're listening.
Yeah,
What if
we
you
are
said-
listening. We kind of have to.
FMH, partner. You have to say that every time you want us to follow you here. You have to say FMH.
So I can imagine that, because I was like, well, who would want this or whatever? But what if you just were able to curate it to? Okay, so what if
FMH.
I want to listen to 90s punk rock, right?
I got you.
But in between the songs, I want
90s punk rock tidbits of trivia?
No, I don't want. I don't care about that.
Gambling info.
I want the AI to give me all the gambling, or like
spring training games today and the lines on all of them.
or the new spreads that have come out, or
Yeah.
like alert me for like when the NFL draft props come out and think, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Then
Like,
everybody would do that, right?
and then so whatever you're into, so like Sam could like get trial updates while she's listening to her favorite song through AI. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
you're
then
just inventing a new product. Your new product is personal DJ, right? Where I have it in my phone, and he just is like an assistant, and he's just chirping at me all day. You guys would hate that. You'd turn him off.
What? No.
You'd say, I just want my 90s punk rock. This guy's chirping too much.
No, but you're only chirping on the information you don't want to hear. Like chirping, chirping, like you.
Chirping ain't easy.
See, I
That
finally
should be your
found.
new
See, I
shirt.
finally found out how he really feels about me.
No.
Just
But
I
I'm-
did. He says chirping is only information you don't want to hear.
No, I'm
write
just,
that down.
I'm just saying that if you wanted specific information daily that you needed, that you seek
I
out
like this
anyway,
idea.
then you can curate
I would
it.
buy that. If you told me right now, Daniel, for $99, no, for $250 a year, ooh, that's expensive. You can get a DJ that will, he's in your Spotify and Apple Music. Any of your punk rock, the music you play, he'll just pop in occasionally, give you maybe either a tidbit about the song, like, I don't know, stuff that like Brave scores, I'd say that's
Any
pretty damn
information
cool.
that you want.
Yeah, or like stuff I need to know.
Have it like you pick out certain friends that like any of their social media posts. You can be like,
Tom's birthday today, so why don't
Yep.
you swing by Target and grab him a card? And now here's NoFX with Linoleum.
Well,
it tells
Andrea
you.
just put in the chat that Spotify just came out with AI personal DJ
Today?
Yep.
6 days ago.
Wow.
No way, I'm 6 days behind. There's Andrea, come do this job.
Of course they did. It makes sense. Like that, and that's where the future is going, because everybody wants all information curated to them specifically.
Yeah.
Like we're now living in a society where I'm like, I don't want to hear about this. I'm not interested in this. I only want to hear exactly what I'm interested in. Also,
No, that's bad for arguments, though. It's like, I only want to believe what I believe, and I will listen to nothing you have to say.
Yeah, so it says this feature, first rolling out in beta, will deliver a curated lineup of music alongside commentary around the tracks and artists that we think you'll like in a stunningly realistic voice. So it's happening.
and also it's
Well, damn.
But it's like you want to hear, like say you give them a list of like, tell me like what the weather is going to be, tell me what my friends are saying on social media, tell me the sports scores, and tell me
I loaded up with Arsenal, the Braves, Atlanta Falcons.
Tell me what Orlando City is doing this. Give me Orlando City news. Give me.
Do I have any alert emails? It'll pop in and say, you have one alert email you need to reply to.
Read it to me.
Yeah.
Not only
Well, I don't want my daughter in the car if it's reading one from my mistress.
Well, it'll give you an option, like you've got a new email, and you're just like, read it. And then it's like that.
So just like what we're talking about is almost like what Surrey should have been originally.
Yeah.
Kind of like an assistant DJ. Anyway, I'm into this. I think it'd be helpful.
Because think about how much unnecessary information we get. Speaking of the news, like I haven't watched the news in years, but like I'm like a lot of the stuff in the news is not affecting my life, and there's nothing that I need to hear about any of this.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
sure.
So
it would be a waste of time.
Why do I want to consume it? Like when a hurricane's coming, I turn on the news because I'm like, this will affect me.
Right.
So that's why I look at it. All the other stuff is just
you're just
stories.
you don't need it.
And some stories are so horrible they make me feel bad.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it. Right? Like what good does it do having me hear it? So it's like I think most people feel that way. But you want stuff that you're only interested in or that will affect your life personally.
It is changing the original human algorithm, right? Like, because like in my mind, there's a play back in the day where if you're not even giving the song, I'm going back to the kind of the music curation aspect of it. If the song doesn't even get a shot because it's already been deemed as something that you wouldn't like, that's not necessarily true. Because like things grow on you, or you find different things that you enjoy in things.
There's limitations.
Yeah. I don't like the finite like. And I'm not like that either. I've never liked the nope, it's gone. Got to get it out of here. But, I've never been that type of person.
But I imagine that will be an easy setting on your personal thing,
right,
where you say, expose me to new stuff that's totally outside of my genre.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, expose me to stuff.
Or give it like percentages, 30% new exposure, 40% new exposure.
And here's even a better way to curate it. Expose me to new stuff, but only expose me to stuff that males 40 to 50 like around the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so like
right.
you can, I don't want to be exposed to something a 15-year-old likes. You know what I'm saying? Because it's probably something I'm not gonna like.
But like my point is, if it's music, I don't know. I'm not saying like kids music or something, obviously, but
I trust the wisdom of crowds, right? So like because the
wisdom of crowds.
But it's proven.
But also crowds can get a bad idea and they can run with it.
Yeah, but the total
they storm things.
The total intelligence of the world, I trust to fall.
But couldn't you only make that statement if this were using the total intelligence of the world? It's not. It's only using what they're allowing you to use.
Well,
I don't know how big it is.
If it's AI, it's in the internet. And
they can still put limitations on it. Is my point.
They can. I don't know what limitations.
Like I don't think every AI I don't think you can ever make the statement that every AI has ability to source everything in the internet. I think that's a misconception.
That's beyond my knowledge. But like for Chat GPT and what I read about that, it was taking what
they're listening.
It was using the internet for information. So I'm just guessing for like my personal information DJ that it's like if I want to hear new music and I set the setting like give me the music that is most popular amongst my age and demographic,
sure,
and then I'll take that first and then whittle it down from there or whatever it is.
I'm also weird and I like different stuff, so I'm not the best, and I don't think they're shooting for unique. They're shooting for like how many people can we get within this circle. So that makes sense to me. But anyway, we'll see where it goes. We'll see if they reply back to me and offer me the ability to use it. That would be fun. Be pretty cool. I'd love to reach out to the guy that bought it for his radio stations too and see like how's it working. Do you get any complaints? Do people like it, or do people say this sucks? This is like weird and jarring and odd. We have no way to know because it's radio. So we have no way to understand if people are liking this or not. There's 5 ppm meters out there. We don't. The data's not in yet. Well, what happens when all the people are robots? Doesn't matter who's listening.
Well, I mean,
That's a joke.
I mean, you can go. That's why people think we're in a simulation, because they start looking at this and like, well, this, if it's there now and it's progressing, then 100 years, then we will be at a point where this will all be a simulation, because it has to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start looking at how technology
Not
progresses.
for me. I won't be here.
No, I know, but I'm just saying,
Good
like,
luck, Mason.
no, a simulation now, like we are currently in a simulation,
Yeah,
because
I don't go that far.
if it inevitably will get to the ultimate in technology that everything can be a simulation, then we already are. It's a mind f. You got to be high to really think about it.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. It don't make any sense to me. But I understand the logic of it. It's like if the technology is compounding on itself better and better every year, then we could do the math.
Oh,
and
daily
say,
they're saying now.
100 years from now, it'll be so good that
We slipped dimensions when they turned on the LHC.
yeah, there you go. There's,
I don't even know what that means. I just watch cartoons. Just hang
Yeah,
out with my
yeah,
dog.
Better life.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, we're in the simulation. 100 years from now, we've already been in it. And then you're talking about
That's-
these
yeah,
some
that's-
letters. I don't even know what letters. LMHC. I don't know what you're talking about. THC is all I'm worried about.
Why even care about any of this? You know what I'm saying?
We're all here to get out of here.
Yeah. We're all here now, just going or doing our jobs, going home.
chug along.
It's easier just to
You know.
not think about multiple dimensions and robots and ChatGPT and Radio GPT.
Yeah.
How do you? I'd be interested in how you program it, like how you even get to a point where you set it loose. How do you know when it's done? How do you know when? Like, how do you cover all your bases in that area?
Never know.
I know it's crazy. It's just immense. When I think about it, I'm like, I'm too dumb to
Your
even.
brain will explode.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with it. And that's the problem with why you can't keep up with it, and why the governments can't keep up with it or whatever, because there's only a percentage of humans that can actually even understand what AI is doing, and like
Hopefully
the
AI is
software,
fixing all those NFTs that we were hot on about a year ago.
like, and so
What happened to
Yeah,
those?
what's AI doing about our NFT problem? I got like 90 digital rabbits in a wallet somewhere. You don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah. The digital rabbits. That was hard for me to get behind. I'm
We
like,
had so many people
I
come
can
in
see
here
it.
to talk to us about NFTs, and we're like, still don't know.
Well, I don't even
this
think
I
does Kirk
understand
still
more.
Get a
I
hold of
don't
Kirk.
know.
Get a hold of
Like-
Kirk Bonacci, our friend. He came
Is
on
he
our
okay?
show.
Did the
I don't
NFT
know.
gods get
He
him?
got on our show. Then he went on the Monsters and talked about it. And he's trying to do NFTs everywhere. And then and then I haven't heard from him since.
What was his company? I gotta.
It's
find
all a part of the same thing. I just think that element of it is like further in the application than this. Like, this is like, well, you can start using this immediately. I mean, realtors use ChatGPT immediately to make their listings.
Yeah.
Because it's easier and faster. I mean, their local publications, I'm sure, are using it. Like, lots of people are currently using it, and it's being infused into our society already. Like, the digital art, I feel like that's got to be further into the metaverse, where we'll start getting more back into the VR and being like in, a digital space.
The
or
other
something
thing-
that's farther away.
The other thing we didn't do with ChatGPT, and I don't know, I couldn't figure out how to do it on my own, but I laid in bed trying to think about it, is we need to do the old where you call the Chinese restaurant, and then on the other line you also have Hungry Howie's, and then you
No,
get
make
them
them
to
talk
talk
to
to
each
each other. I wanted to get ChatGPT asking ChatGPT questions. Like, hey, write ChatGPT a question and then send it to another version of ChatGPT, and then getting talking until they explode or something. I don't know.
Chat jerky boys.
Yeah, I would have done chat.
Okay.
Write down chat jerky. Hold on, FMH. FMH. That's follow me here. Chat jerky boys.
Who do we know?
Chat jerk PT.
Who do we know?
Fire down with a hot box.
Who do we know?
We do all the Indian voice.
yeah,
We
we
do the
just-
Johnny Rizzo.
Yeah.
I got the Mexicans up there firing them down on their heads. I forget how to do the voice.
Yeah. With what was the guy's name? Frank Rizzo.
Frank Rizzo. I called him Jerry.
Chat
Johnny
Frank Rizzo. And then you get caught up in the blades. With the whole, we need to utilize this technology for prank calling. That's all I've heard. But now we got a business here.
Can we get prank GPT? That's pretty good.
It's close. Like with the solicitor calls, they've gotten the voice activated, robot voice.
They're too
pretty
friendly
good
when they call, and they're too organized when they call, and they're like, "Hi, I'd like to." I'm like, I already know you're not real. When they're already like that. Your voice is too breathy.
But they've got better voice. They've changed up the voices. I've heard
They're
stuff.
getting good, yeah.
I've heard stuff before where it took me like 3 Mississippis or 5 Mississippi. I used to know immediately, but like I would listen to it, and then I know that it was a robot because I would be silent and they would keep going, which is not a normal human response. Someone to be like, "Hello, are you still there?"
Right.
Which they'll write in the system, and then they'll get me. I'll be an old man that's tricked by this for sure.
You know those police. You know the police organizations that call. I don't know if they're real or fake. I've been told both. I've been told like, no, those are real. Then I've been told like, no, those are fake. I had one call me and it was I swore it was a robot voice. So they're like, "Hi, I'd like to," and I'm like, "F you." And the guy's like, "Sir," and I just hung up.
You're like, "Oh, but dude, that's where you start getting confused."
Yeah.
He got me.
Yeah. All right.
We gotta take a break.
We'll be right back.
All right, nice. That worked out.
I like segments like that. We're just talking about new shit.
I'll start finding more and more. I still want to talk about the India Crow Man.
What is it again?
This man in India can just go like, and then all the crows come and they land. He's like, and he's just
control the crows.
What?
He can control the crows?
He can control. He's the crow man.
Okay, all right.
He's the crow man.
Let's talk about that for our generic feature segment.
I got a guy too he told me about
Where's
this.
that last one go?
That's Tuesday 1 and 2. About a scam that he was dealing with, and then he just gave me a follow up, but I didn't see it until just now. And I'm like, "Can you talk about this today?" Because he's like, this thing got so crazy, it goes all the way up to the DA, and I'm like, "You gotta tell this story on the show."
And something that he got scammed.
He was trying to avoid other people from getting scammed.
Okay.
He's the guy we talked to him for a weird job where he does like payroll for other companies, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to blow up his spot.
Yeah, he's super smart.
Yeah, nice guy. Let me, Abraham, you didn't know that Hungry Howie's still around? Of course it's still around and thriving.
I don't know that I've ever eaten Hungry Howie's.
It's good. It's one of my favorite shit pizzas, for sure. I want to see this new Creed movie. Haven't seen any of the Creed movies. I just saw the trailer last night. I was like, that looks fun.
You know, now that I think about it, like that's what the future is gonna be.
Oh my God.
Huh.
Look at this shit. I still get this from a certain someone, this lady. I still get her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it?
Oh yeah.
No, wait. It says right here.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you showing?
No. And it says right here. I don't know if you can read that.
Yeah.
right? You go down, you look at it, and that's them. But no, that didn't have anything to do with you. That had everything to do with whatever.
Don't even look at it.
Yeah, dumb old people. Dumb old people. All right.
But for sure, like you will have a personal, like if you want to call it a personal DJ or whatever you're listening to.
Or like assistant.
Because remember, like I bitch about like Wise radio station playing traffic, generic like accidents in some place I'm not even driving. Like I don't care about an accident on some.
Well, I know where they're playing it, and you do too. But it
they'll for sure. It's like I do care about an accident on my route. And
but I'll see that on my navigation.
You will, but your personal DJ will also tell you the traffic on your route personally, while it tells you everything you're interested in, every team score you're interested in, everything curated to you. It'll just be a robot.
Yeah, but spaceships did this in cartoons and shit. Like when we were kids, like the spaceship would be flying, and then like it would tell the guy, it'd be like, approaching your destination, would you like me to dock? So it's going to be very much like that, as I think. We're just getting what we wanted.
Well, that's what our GPS does. But
this will drive you in.
Also, it'll be the GPS voice, the telling the stuff in your personal life, your own friends' texts and emails and everything, the music you like to hear. We're already kind of doing it right now.
All right. Did you want to do the other one with? It's going to be short, but I can do. And you want to do the other one now? We're doing 3 and 4, or
do you want to skip to March?
Let's do the March segment, and let's do it about the crow guy. And
it's real dumb.
We could do that, and we'll just do some voicemails.
Okay. All right. Why don't you start then? Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
So who's the Indian Crow Master?
Wow, he's jumping right into it. So I'm on Reddit, and then the first video of the day I looked at, and I became obsessed with it, and it is the Indian Crow Man, and here he is in all of his glory. He does not look like a man of many powers, but he is. And this is the Indian Crow King. Watch this. Okay, so he's standing there, and he wiggles his fingers at the sky.
Okay, yeah. I see no crows in the sky.
No.
It's pretty good.
If there are any Indian curse words in here, I apologize.
I saw one.
Oh, there's one.
Hold on. Wait for it.
Oh, here come the crows!
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, he stirred them up good. They're flying everywhere now.
Oh, he's giving them
attacking everybody.
Giving them a fourth blast. Give him a fifth time. Blast him again, Crow King. There he goes. I like how everybody's like, yeah! Yeah! We did it!
Weird.
How does he do it?
I mean, he sounds like a crow.
Look, he does more.
Although,
shouldn't I be able to do that?
I don't know. That's pretty
Go out
good.
there in the streets of Baldwin and try.
I will do that.
I mean,
I do a good crow.
He curated that.
It's pretty good.
That's a pretty good crow.
Thank you.
But if you
Look,
get,
he took a bow. They're applauding
Test it out.
him.
Let's test this theory.
Yeah.
I think I can go in the streets of Baldwin and, well, we need to know who has the most crows in Florida. I need to go to a crow.
I've heard of the Castleberry crows.
I gotta go to a crow-rich environment.
So
This is my dream. My dream is to learn how to, well, other than a domesticated dog, I want to be able to communicate with the animals, with the beasts.
Hold on, my new thing is figuring out if a video is real or fake.
Oh, you think this
That's
is
your new
Photoshop
thing?
crows? Photoshop crows?
It's
Crotoshop?
No.
Crotoshop.
Well, okay. I'm trying to think back. I'm like, I haven't seen someone like with their own voice verbally summon crows on the
I've
internet
never seen
before.
a person call a bird. Maybe a falcon.
I've seen people do it with duck calls and things
But
like
Falcon,
that.
you just put your arm up, and the Falcon's like, hell yeah, the
But that's a
arm's out. Here I go.
trained falcon. But I'm saying, like, he obviously, this is representing, he made that noise, and then all of a sudden, 300 crows flew out of the tree and started circling around his head,
Yeah.
right? So this claim is he called them, right? So
Yes,
let's determine if that's real. So let's search, can a man call a crow on Google? Let's
All
find
right,
out.
there you go.
That-
Should we do a ChatGPT?
No, Sam, search, can a man... Well, I want to see other videos.
Search, can a man be attracted to another man? And ChatGPT.
Daniel, see on the videos if there are other people that can do this. Because this guy doesn't have a unique ability. There's lots of people that... I mean, Daniel, you can do it.
Here is a man in Seoul.
Okay.
Hold on, this is some TikTok or Reels. Yeah, this is some TikTok.
Okay.
Okay, I can't get that. That's the problem with TikTok.
Let's hear his squawk.
Okay, there's the aftermath.
Okay. It seemed like he was making a noise. Oh. No.
No, you stoop.
Yeah.
I hate this guy. I'm so mad at this guy.
So that's not
You're
real.
not the Crow King. You're not like the guy in India. The guy in India, he's got the juice, man. He did it, and then one came over to check it out, like a scout.
They're saying he's a famous Indian stuntman.
Well,
He has,
wait a
also
minute, you're-
lent, he has also lent his voice to characters like Donald Duck, Johnny Bravo, and a number of tunes for mobile companies.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but
The
this
Crow guy. The
this
Indian
crow,
guy.
the Indian Crow King.
Yeah.
He does voiceover work in India, and his voice is so good and so powerful that he's able to manipulate it enough to call actual Indian crows.
well, if
He does Donald Duck. He's big in the
He's
foul game.
Indian. He's Indian Donald
But
Duck.
lots of humans could do this, and that tells me that lots of humans have the ability to call crows. And if we don't see lots of videos online of humans calling crows, then I'm saying that guy's fake. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he is not doing something that's so unique that only he and the entire humanity can do it. You can damn near closely do it, right? Yeah.
I think my crow is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's a good crow.
So that tells me that if you go to somewhere where there's crows, you could call them, but I don't see this. This would be all over the internet of people calling crows all the time.
Why do people want to do that?
Well, why
He-
not? If
if
you're just
people are
sitting at the park.
He is claiming. Okay, this is what one person said. One user wrote, "This is called unity. We humans need to learn from it. The reason why all crows came suddenly is they thought some crow was in danger and asking for help."
No, but why haven't we seen this? Why doesn't everybody at the park all of a sudden just start
Because
calling
I think
crows?
you're a maniac if you were doing that at the park. Honestly.
You know how many people
If I went
are
to the park and was
maniacs?
doing like a crow
Yeah.
voice, you'd be like maniac, or do you think I was like a larper or like?
You know how many crazy people I see at the park? They don't care what
I mean,
other
it's
people
better
think.
than pooping in the park if I'm making
Like-
a crow noise.
Like kids would be doing this as a joke all the time. Like, I'm going to call over a bunch of crows.
They're not skilled enough.
Is it possible for
I don't
his
know.
friends, because it's not the best video, is it possible for him to do the call, then meanwhile people are throwing down food or corn or something?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
then
Yes.
they all come
because
over.
I have seen tons of birds. If you throw food down in a park, they'll swarm, right? So what I think is happening, and Daniel, this is fake. He didn't call the crows. A bunch of friends are throwing food down, and the crows come out because of that.
Also, there's studies saying carrion crows can differentiate between familiar and unfamiliar humans solely based on the sound of their voice.
Yeah, crows are super smart.
Yeah,
So
they're super
they
smart.
have voice recognition. So who's to say that this guy hasn't built up a relationship with this murder of crows and they know his specific call?
Well, I found this lady on YouTube that'll give me crow calling basics.
Guys, I'm Season from Pro Movies. I'm your social media manager. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit today how to call crows. I've been doing it since July, and I had a couple people ask me how to do it. So when you're learning how to call a crow, the first thing you do
You know a person that does a crow call has a nose ring. You know that, because you got to be a little more open-minded to
So,
do this.
but when this lady does it, do a bunch of crows fly around
don't
like the
think-
Indian
I
guy?
don't think so.
If they don't, then that Indian guy's video's fake.
Well, what if he had more crows? Well,
Well-
like if I have a dog treat and there's only one dog around and one dog comes over, okay. But if I have a dog treat and I'm in a dog-rich environment, you see what I'm saying?
Well, there's
Like,
plenty of crow-rich environments. I'm saying other people would do it with their voice if they could, and I think it's that is a
I think
scam.
you're too all or nothing, man. You got to believe in humanity. a
is
little
Well-
you start with like almost like a hooing, like a sound that you would just make, almost like an owl would make, like whoo, whoo, whoo.
I can do that.
And then you bring in step 2, which is called the gurgle. And it's like you're trying to like spit almost, as disgusting as that sounds, but that's the sound. It's like, so it's like, sound.
Oh, I've made that sound before.
Don't talk about it. But like,
Are we still filming?
I think that the Crow Man,
You
Indian
think he's
Crow Man's
fake?
fake.
All right,
He's
all
not
right.
actually calling
If
him.
you know any more information, if you dig anything up on the internet, show at tomanddan.com.
Yeah, I mean, there's classes on teaching you how to communicate with crows.
Yeah, but are there videos of other people doing what that guy's doing? If there's not, then it's fake. If there is hundreds of videos of other people doing it in the world, then it is real, or it's.
I don't think it has to be hundreds. You're
Or
saying
5.
You're saying that
If this guy can do it, other humans could do it and would have done it on the internet.
No, I don't believe that. No.
Well, that's how the internet works.
No.
This guy's not unique.
I think it's possible to be unique. I still believe
I
in
know.
I think it's still possible to be able to do something that no one else can do.
That you can do what this guy's doing.
No, I can't. It has not been proven that I can do what this guy's doing. You're speaking.
Because-
You're throwing so much misinformation out. It's so crazy how much misinformation you're allowed
I'm
to
not-
throw out here. I don't know how to do that. If I go out there and do that right now, I can make a sound that's similar, but I may not be making the exact sound. I may not be making the exact reverberation. I may not be making the same pitch. I may not have the same amount of bass in my voice. I may not have a same amount of treble in my voice.
I don't think that guy's doing something so unique that only one human in the world could do it.
I just think we haven't found other people having crows land on them yet.
Well, no one landed on it. They
Or
just,
around him, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. Come on, stop going with everything has to be. They did not land on him. You sound like Maisie, for Christ's sake, when I'm like,
No, that's what I want.
I'm like, it's 3:25 or 3:30.
We're
She's
trying
like,
to
it's
find the-
3:25.
We're trying to find the truth.
Yeah, but it's.
I found one video of a guy that's a hunter and he is calling crows.
Yeah.
Do they
Hunters have been
swirl?
doing-
Do they swirl around him?
There's not 100 swirly ones, but
We need-
again, maybe this guy knows where the crows hang out.
Well, everybody, crows we're lousy with crows. There are crows everywhere. People will be doing this
There's
in
no crows
Central
around
Park.
here.
In Central Park.
That's
or,
so much
like,
misinformation. There is literally no crows here. I could go outside right now. There's no crows to call it.
Well, there are crows around here. We just don't know where they are.
Right. Well, they're somewhere.
So
within the next 100 miles.
Yeah, they're in the trees somewhere. But all I'm saying is that this is how people get tricked on the internet. Is like this guy's claiming to call the crows, and really probably it's someone throwing food, and he's pretending to call the crows to make a viral video.
Crushing the crow dreams out
Maybe
of
they're
him.
not crows. Maybe they're blackbirds. People are saying the blackbirds aren't crows. I don't know anything about birds.
You know, like I know that hunters spend their whole lives buying the most fancy duck calls. In fact, Duck Dynasty made $1 billion selling stupid duck calls, and it's
so much money.
And it's hard as hell to even use duck calls.
So
to hunt.
much money on those duck calls.
Ask a duck hunter. It's still difficult. Like you're not just calling them and then infinite ducks come and you shoot them all. Like there's a skill to it, and it's difficult, right? It's not super easy. So that tells me that.
Can't find another video. You might be right.
The act of calling birds, like, because more people would do it. Like, some kid would learn how to call a crow, and then at recess, call a bunch of crows as a joke for his friends.
I would do that. I would do that every recess. We got to get a hold of Jim Phillips and see if he used to have a crow call, and he was trying to get the crows to bring him trash, and then I think he gave up on it. Then the pandemic happened.
Like, I remember when we were in college, we went to Cocoa Beach, and I think it was the Wizard, I can't remember. One of my buddies got blacked out drunk and passed out on the beach, and then we threw a bunch of crumbs from a bag of chips that we
that's a
had
good one.
all over them, and the seagulls did descend upon us, and all the birds.
Did they land on him?
Oh, they were all over around him. We were laughing. It was pre-video camera, like phone, so we couldn't video it. But that is true. If you throw a bunch of crumbs on the floor at the beach or somewhere where there's a ton of birds, they will swarm around and they'll swarm at them. But
I have to go back
never
and
seen
watch
anybody call them.
more of this video. Now I love that. I feel like this man is a famous Indian stuntman is a
Yeah.
lie now too. That's got to be a lie, right?
No, that could be true because he's trying to promote himself on social media, so he's
So
trying
he
to
lies about the crow thing.
Or that he got the most. I mean, how many views did that video get? Probably a
Well,
lot.
I couldn't tell on Reddit,
Yeah.
but no, I'm saying
Well, this is a different video, but I think it's the same guy.
Is he in the same
Kirti
area?
Narayan?
I
Do you
didn't
have that guy's name now?
He didn't have a name in the
Okay.
video. It was just a random video.
Anyway, it's
fascinating to me.
That's the hard thing when you're watching any of these videos and it all doesn't even matter.
I guess just believe that everything's fake and you'll be all right.
No one even cares. You don't have to believe everything's fake. Just be skeptical about it. It's like, is this real? And then we kind of figured it out. It's probably improbable.
I mean, you think you figured it out. I don't think Sam and I agreed to what you were saying.
No, you agree, Sam?
I don't necessarily agree with
No, I
that.
don't think we
Did the chat
necessarily
room
agree.
agree?
You always assume that everybody in the room disagrees because you push harder on your opinion. Because you're like, I'm gonna say that this is what I believe, and I'll die on it.
I'll bet that I'm right. I'll bet the listeners.
I don't know how to prove to you anything because
It's his
anytime I
bet
bring
thing.
you proof,
I'll
you're
do
like,
it.
well,
I'll buy
there's that time.
$1,000 bet. It's real.
Oh, well,
There, I'll do it.
Dude,
Fine.
that's too much.
'Cause
You're
this is
betting
what-
too much. You don't know. You
No,
gotta
no, but
bet.
You're the Super Bowl squares
Kelly
of betting.
criteria.
No, but it throws up, it destroys your whole system if I take too much money and do it, because he says if you really believe it, you'll be willing to put a sizable amount of money on
Well,
it.
for $1,000.
Yeah, I'll just do it. $1,000. Well, let's just do it.
Okay, well, I don't want to get.
See, you won't
Andrew's
do it.
Gonna, no,
it's
I'll-
breaking him down. He can't do it.
Well, first of all, because I like to bet, that's too much money to risk on something.
All right,
like this.
$100 bet.
All right, deal.
$100 bet.
Deal. I'll prove by the end of the day that that's fake.
Well, we got other things we got to work on.
We don't have to do it by the end of the
See,
day.
betting is not that important.
I'll do it at night.
Oh, while your wife is crowing at you?
Yeah.
No, like I just
The
need
irony of that.
I just need a solid hour to search on the internet to find out if there's any other people. That I'll read some articles.
We've been
about
doing that. We've done a
Colin Crows.
solid 14 minutes on it.
No. But I'll deep dive and find out, and then come and present to you the case.
You're
that
always
it's
going to
fake.
skew it to your direction. You
No, well,
always
that's-
do. Because you've already made up your mind that you know it's fake and that you just have to prove it to us, and that's not fake.
No, if I find that it's real, I'll
But
be
you're
like,
not looking to find that it's real. You're looking.
Yeah. Well,
You see, there's a difference in how you're doing the way that you're
Research.
doing your research.
I'm looking to find the truth. That's it.
No, you're not. You're looking to prove that you're right, which is different than looking to find the truth.
Well, no. I think I could be subjective enough to look to find the truth because
We have a video of a man doing the crow thing, and the only proof that you have is there are no other videos.
because
The lack of proof
when I
proves his point. Yeah.
Right. He's doing the same thing that when people fight on the internet, they do. They go, well, you have nothing, no other option, so it has to be fake, because then because you're going on
Well,
the assumption. Hold on. You say one thing that I hate. You say, and it's crazy. You say, because if it were so easy, other people would do it. Not necessarily. People would have to want to do it. It's
Right.
not just,
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to go out in
Yeah,
the middle of a
it's-
field and start calling
it's not,
for crows.
It's not just knowing how to do it is easy, and then people go, oh, calling crows is easy. Let's all go copycat and do crows. It doesn't necessarily work. The math doesn't necessarily work out like that.
I know
It can work out like that.
It's just that with the place that we're in now, where everybody's got a phone and a video camera, right? The whole world has one. How many people would you say have a smartphone in their hands in the world?
I agree with you.
500 million?
Yeah, or more.
So 500 million, or maybe even a billion. I would say even a billion. There's 14 billion people on planet Earth. More than a billion, right? So billions of people have a smartphone. So that's what I'm saying. Out of a billions of people with smartphones able to videotape themselves and upload it on the internet, it's free, right? You could upload anything you want on YouTube or social media.
Yeah, but there's also trillions of videos on the internet.
Yeah. No, but so But
You got to sift through all the BS.
So-
And I also don't think that every single thing is videoed and put on the internet.
No, it isn't. But I'm saying that if humans had the ability, and I don't think this is unique to this guy, to call birds.
I'm gonna see. I found the thread. I'm gonna go through. I might be able to figure out the answer easier than you spending time on it.
Well, I'm thinking it out. If you could call some birds at a park, right? And crows aren't unique to India. I could understand if they were to India, then it would be a different story. But there's also billions of people in India, so more people would probably do this.
Oh God, the racist people in this thread are so great.
Oh, good.
But
He's saying
The
bobs
internet.
and vagina. That's pretty fun.
Like more people would call birds over just to see them swarm around as a party trick, if it was possible. And what I'm saying is most likely, or more likely, he pretended to do this so that we all watched, so that it would become a viral video.
Oh no, I definitely believe
and they
that is possible. But I also like to leave. I mean, maybe this is just me being me. I also like to leave a little area open for it possibly being correct.
It could be. I'm just leaning way towards more that he used food or something, another trick to call the crows. Anyway.
Also known as a record holder crow caller. This guy's legit, dude. I'm telling
Don't say that. He'll never believe you, no matter what you say. He's
No,
never
that's
gonna
not
believe
true.
you.
I'll
No.
believe it. If
No,
it's
he won't.
real,
He'll never
I'm
give me
wrong.
$100. No,
I
never.
will give Daniel. I
No,
pay
no.
my bets.
He's hard. No, I know you pay your bets. I'm just saying the whole idea of
I
what's
mean, it's
happening
on
right
Yahoo
now is that
News.
you already knew going into this bet that you're like, no, I'm never admitting that I'm wrong because I'm believing.
That's not true.
I think it also the fact that he is a voice artist, like that makes more sense that he
I
can
don't
mimic a
believe that he's
bird.
the Indian Donald Duck. I don't believe
Well,
any of
it's
that.
in Yahoo News. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot of people that
you
have
think they'd vet it, right?
voice
But I don't
talent.
know.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
There's a lot of people that have the same ability as this guy.
Well, now I want to know how to do. If he can do it, and if what you're saying is correct, and it's easy, then I will try to figure out how to do it. I got to, because I think it's fun. Where's the area of Central Florida that has the most amount of crows?
I have no idea.
We got to find it.
We could find a bird expert. Man, we should do a day of the week that's dedicated to birds. Write that down.
When could we do it? We could do it like a Friday. Bird Friday.
Bird Friday. All right.
That's a Feathered
All right.
Friday.
Feathered Friday.
There it is.
There it is.
That's perfect.
But what I will say is that we could definitely have this guy do You're Listening to Tom and Dan and do the crow, and we could pay him $50. He'll do it.
I think our air is broken again. It's hot in here. You want to do a couple of voicemails?
Yeah.
All right. I took some of these this morning. Let's see what we got here. Here we go.
Oh my God, I'm listening to Monday's recording. Dan, don't change your phone number. Please don't do that. I was getting calls from U.S. Pharmacy for 4 solid years. Could not get them to stop, and they literally told me I will never stop calling you. The guy said that, so I changed my phone number. Now I'm getting all the scam calls from the other person because it turns out there are no new phone numbers. Don't do it.
Yeah, I guess he's now getting all the scam calls of the guy that had his number before. And then I was
Yeah.
talking to Sam, and I'm like, well, I can't get a fresh number. And she's like, there are no more new numbers. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't call AT&T and say like, and they're like, what number would you like? And then I said, give me a new one. And they give me one. And then I go, hey, I just want to make sure before you give me that number and activate it that wasn't used by anybody else. I want a freshie. I want a fresh, brand new generated, never been used before phone number. Can you do that?
Well, there's a way to know how many combinations of 407 numbers there are with 7 numbers following that.
Yeah, but we have multiple area codes still around here, don't we? On some like legacy phones.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're just going, like, have all the 407
Been
number
given out.
combinations been given out? And, I mean, it's got to be
Oh.
a gigantic number in the tens of millions or more. I have no idea. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, but maybe they have no way of even knowing that. They probably have no way of knowing. I mean,
bet
it's the
you're right.
government or whatever the hell, who's in charge of phone numbers?
That immediately sounds like the most logical answer.
Give me
It's
Mr.
like,
Numbers.
Well, the reason that you get one that's recycled and you can never get a fresh one would make sense because no one has control over it. It's like literally, it's like there's just
It's an open source, right?
Yeah, the minute you're losing one, you're reassigning it, right? Losing and reassigning and losing and reassigning because people are dying, right?
Yeah.
So it's like cancel, reassign, cancel. It's constant.
People
Yeah.
change, and then also there's databases of AT&T phone numbers, but there's also databases of T-Mobile. You know what I'm saying? And they don't share information, right?
Right.
There's not some universal database of
No.
all numbers, right?
I was
There's, like-
always jealous of my friends that like worked at like T-Mobile or Sprint, and they would get like cool vanity numbers that had like sex or 69 in there.
Oh.
I was always jealous of that until I became an adult and realized that you don't want any of that stuff because then it makes you look really bad. You know, like when your email address is an adult, and if you have like a phone number that's like, you know. Like you would think differently of me if
Yeah, but
you and I were
wouldn't know-
going into business.
But you
and-
wouldn't give me the mine.
Yeah.
It's all right, boobs.
No, but I would go if you and I are making a deal. Let's say I'm selling you 10,000 crows. I have an 18-wheeler full of crows. I'm selling it to you. We shake hands on it. You're paying me $10,000 for it, and you're like, "Oh, let me give you a number in case I have some questions about the crows later." And I go, "It's 407-699-6969." You think I'm not professional.
Now, I'm a little biased because my house that I grew up in, address was 6969.
Yeah.
And
Sounds fake.
through my whole,
Sounds fake.
when we order pizza, I remember like my mom used to be like, that is my real address. It's not
No,
a-
you may not.
They
69.
think it's a Bart Simpson prank call or something.
Right.
Like, but so I have sympathy for people that actually may have a 6969 number, and then everybody thinks, but for the most part, it's some Kenny Powers that bought that, right? That's
it's
a
pretty
novelty.
damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew guys that you wanted the. I also had a light up antenna on my Nokia phone, and I may or may not have had a $100 bill faceplate that I put on it. Why not? That's what you did. You accessorized your phones. And I do miss that a little bit. People don't. You can put a case on your iPhone, but you don't get to snap on a faceplate and show that you have plastic $100 bills all over your Nokia phone with a light-up antenna that you could just turn it on to vibrate, and it would just light up 1 million candle power in your pocket.
I remember putting a bunch of stickers on my beeper.
That's pretty cool.
To decorate.
Did
How
you have a
big was your
chain?
beeper?
It was like a pack of cigarettes.
Don't tell her. Hey, you're married lady.
A lot of tiny stickers over
It
there.
was like smaller than a pack of cigarettes, but it had like a clip that you slid it out.
Did you run your beeper in or out?
Yay.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, in my pocket.
Yeah, in your pocket.
In my Jinkos.
Yeah, because you run it on the outside, and it would knock it off or break the clip.
Yeah.
And you lose your beeper.
Yeah, but I would have the clip still on it and put it in my pocket.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too. Same way you do a pocket knife.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going back this year to the beeper. No more smartphone for me.
Okay.
Just a beeper. You guys need me? Just beat me. Boobs for Tom. No, boobs for Sam. And you beat me hell. You beat me hell, and I'll know when to call. Let's try this one.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio. I was wondering what your thoughts were on saltwater pools.
Hold on a second. Is that video game background music, or is he at the spa?
Video game.
Yeah. He's not at the spa.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio. I was wondering what your thoughts were on saltwater pools, and more specifically, I didn't even know these existed, but saltwater hot tubs. Yeah. To me, I get that they're more buoyant, so I understand why maybe you'd want to swim in a saltwater pool. But when you get out of salt water, it's a lot more unpleasant than getting out of fresh water. So, you've got our pool water, so you shower off or whatever. But a saltwater hot tub doesn't sound very appealing to me. Because first of all, people that have hot tubs don't use them that often. So what you're going to get in there and know you have to take a shower once you're done every time you use it, it seems like a waste of time and money to me.
I like saltwater pools. I think they're nice.
So I have a saltwater system in my
nice.
pool,
And
but
it's not like the ocean.
No, because it uses salt to basically make chlorine for my pool. So instead of dumping in like chlorine into the pool directly, the saltwater thing, Sam could look it up, what the hell it's called, I forgot or whatever. It basically uses salt to make the chlorine in the pool. So, but people will say, oh, yeah, saltwater pool, and people will throw it, but I'm like, no. It's like
it's
salt water to me means like ocean salt water. Like there's so much salt in there, it's the equivalent to an ocean.
Yeah,
And
this is different. This
I
is
don't
like
think-
salt filtration.
I've never seen anybody with an actual salt ocean water like that.
Carnival
much salt
Cruise Line, they got a
pool.
salt pool. Yeah, if you
because
wanted
they
to-
fill
Yeah,
it
a
with
couple-
the
a lot of
ocean.
the cruises do.
Yeah, they fill it directly from the ocean.
Yeah.
And that's why you're.
But that's an ocean water pool.
Yeah.
Because
And it is gross. When you swim in it, you get out and you're standing on the deck and there's no breeze and you're like, oh my God, I'm dying.
But I think people are misled because, like, I remember when we first got the salt water system on our pool equipment.
Yeah.
Like, she started telling people, like, oh, we got a saltwater pool. I'm like, nah, I don't think it's not. That's
It's not a true saltwater.
yeah, that's
pool,
misinformation. So you're using salt to turn into chlorine, so it's actually less chlorine-y. Which is true.
Chlorine.
Like it doesn't burn your eyes when you put your eyes on. So it makes the minimal amount
That's
that
nice.
it needs.
I think I prefer it to a regular traditional chlorinated pool.
But you don't taste salt or anything,
No.
and I wouldn't consider it a saltwater pool. So then I don't know what to call it.
You told me that, and I remember that's the first time I'd ever encountered it. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I actually like it better. So you need to just go and find one.
I don't even know if they make actual, like, as much salt as is in the ocean.
I don't think you can keep it up. I think as it would.
The chat is saying salt pools only work on certain salt range. You can't run it at ocean levels.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's way too much.
And then, but is there ones that are actually super high salt range pools? Like
Maybe
you
bigger
could taste it, or you know what I'm saying? Like
that's a good question.
Because
I would imagine they have everything. But what would be the need for that? Just size, or maybe buoyancy? For buoyancy,
you could.
They
float
probably
around
do
more.
have it for like special needs people, maybe. Right? I could see where if you were able to get the level of salt within the water to very, very high levels, maybe the density would be better for people doing like.
It says
good for
overly
your
salted pools may cause corrosion damage to some of the metallic equipment, so that's why you can only keep it at a certain level.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I get, there's also some sort of maybe like people prefer the higher salt,
My dad would have. Oh yeah.
because of your,
Salt my
people
pool.
like you go in the ocean and it's like that's good for your cuts and your
Yeah,
skin
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Good for your skin, yeah.
is that even true? I have no idea.
I mean, I do-
I've always been told that. I
Yeah.
just believe it. I
I-
believe anything I see on the internet.
Yeah, I do just believe it.
Crow man.
I blame
my hero.
but that's our generation above us. Our parents were
Yeah.
telling us an
Oh,
insane
bunch of
amount
crap.
of
Oh, yeah.
misinformation.
My dad put
Myths.
turpentine on my blister, and my thumb swelled up like the size of a softball. I had to go to the emergency room. I will say that once I go into the ocean, like with a high concentration of salt, with a cut, and I come out, it seems to be less irritated.
It seems to do something.
Yeah, it seems less irritated and like smooth. Like it almost like the salt was able to kind of, I'm going to take out some inflammation or chill you out. Don't know anything about it.
I was telling my sons the other day that I was like, there was a time where people didn't know what was right or have any way to prove
To like verify any information.
anything. Like so,
A lot of word of mouth, a lot of misinformation.
in the pre-internet age, there was a time where people would just tell you something and you chose to believe it or not, and then no way of knowing ever. You know what I'm saying? Like you, what are you
When
gonna
you
go?
put
to-
it like that, it's terrifying.
You're gonna go to the library? Like, where are you gonna go? There's nothing. So imagine the difference between now and then, and what people were just went around thinking. Everybody looks around and thinks we're dumb now. We were way dumber pre-internet and pre-smartphone.
I'm trying to think of the things that I believed. But I mean, besides Crowman, I'm trying to think of things because there
Everything.
were
We're dumb now. We just can spread the information faster, the misinformation faster.
But we could also verify information
Yeah.
way faster.
So it probably
we're
levels
more-
off exactly
Yeah.
the same. It's probably exactly the same, Sam.
Our society is more
It's all
educated.
cyclical.
We're more educated now than we've ever been in
I don't
all
know,
human
man.
history. You say that only because we see more
Right.
dumb people now
Right.
because we're back.
Well, we're
because
exposed to more people now and more opinions now.
also pre-internet, we only hung out with our friends and family. We weren't exposed to other people's opinions. Now we are, so we're
Right.
scared. We're like, oh my god, everybody's an
We
idiot.
see more.
But it's
Yeah.
but you forget, like everybody also has a smartphone now. Whether or not they are looking up the right information or not, but they still have it, and ultimately you
I agree with
can
that,
find
yeah.
answers. You can find facts.
You can.
We-
You have to
we-
dig through some stuff, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You do. You see a lot of it.
You
Yeah.
have the capability to.
You
can.
Right,
Not
right.
everybody does.
That's
no,
true.
no, yeah,
That's true.
no. There's still
Well, like
people that
Tom
don't
said,
know.
if he was going to do the bet, it takes some work, right? You know, he was like, I'll take some time. I'll go through. I mean, yeah, you would need to do that. Let's try this one.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio.
Oh, another
We're
one?
talking about the Yellow Pages and like why a company would still do it. And I would say probably 1/8 of our customers at Mr. Rooter Plumbing call us because we have a gigantic red ad in the Yellow Pages, and it's not paper like the rest of them. It's like a hard stock page, and it's got a bunch of coupons on it. So we get a lot of business
That's
that
a
way. These are the
coupons.
same people that don't have email addresses, so we have to mail them their mail. You know, a lot of older people, but yeah, pays a lot. for
Yeah,
us.
it's just still for older people. And you said 1/8. Is that a lot? I'm just trying to cut to the chase.
I mean, it's a lot if you have 1,000 customers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I often do. You get stuck in your own bubble, and you call it Miami Friends syndrome, or just you only are exposed to the people around you and the people you interact with.
Man, I don't. I get exposed to nobody.
But I remember
I sit alone in my room.
When my grandfather was alive, I used to go over his house a lot, and I used to hang out with him and his old people friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like everybody over the age of 80. And the way they lived their lives they were living their lives like it was the 70s again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't use the internet. Some of them did. Some of them used it a little bit.
Well,
here and there.
not like as a dependent upon it like we are.
Yeah, but so there is a generation of people that are still living, in old times, if you want to say, still look at the yellow pages and stuff, and that they have money and they still operate this way. So to say no one does, but when I make broad statements like that, I mean, I guess. In the future, no one will, or this is dying.
It's definitely dying off.
Yeah.
This
it's
is
not
with
the
the
most
generations that
popular.
use it.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I got time for one more. Let's try this one.
What's going on, dudes and chicks? It's Big Rick, and I'm listening to you guys talk about how there was no more curiosity when it came to the ad space within the Super Bowl match, and I was actually kind of taken back by that because this year Budweiser wasn't necessarily the lead sponsor for beer in any of the Super Bowl ads, and it allowed for more ad space to be consumed by people like Miller Coors, and that got me to thinking, what did you guys think about that advertisement? Because there was no industry news about it whatsoever outside of the fact that there was an ad that no one knew about and no one saw, with the exception of a few big industry news leaders like Brewbound and maybe BeerNet Radio, and Beer Business Daily. So wanted to know what you guys thought about that, and that's it. That's all I got.
Is he saying that, because I'd have to dig in a little bit more in the story, it appears to kind of, it's hard to hear, but it sounded like he was saying Budweiser wasn't the lead sponsor. They might have pulled back a little bit, gave more space for Miller Coors to enter, and then there was a big Miller Coors ad, and then he references it. I don't even know what he's talking about. Do you know the ad he's referencing?
No.
I don't remember.
I'm trying to get it
remember any
right.
of them.
That's my point, Rick, is that I think
none of them stuck.
So no, this is a perfect. This is a great experiment to do. We just did it. Obviously, it doesn't matter as much as it used to because we can't even remember.
Yeah, the only one I do remember is the God one.
Right, because we talked about that one, and even though I was watching it on a regular TV and everything, I wasn't paying attention to the commercials at all.
It's with beer, it's hard for me to even understand how people make their choices when it comes to big brands, right? And
right.
I feel like it's just you're buying, you don't care, right? So it's for me, I may not be their demographic, but if someone is saying, hey, I'm going to go buy a domestic beer, and that's our only choice. First, I wouldn't choose that, right? I'd choose a craft beer or something better.
Right.
That tastes better, better quality, right? Or a seltzer, because I like seltzers. But if someone's I'm going to go get a domestic beer, that's your only choice. What do you want, Bud Light or Miller Light? Don't care.
Yeah. It's a light beer.
I don't have a preference over one or the other. I do if you were saying, do I want beer or Diet Coke? I'd rather have beer. I want the alcohol,
right.
but I don't care. The taste between Bud Light or Miller Light is zero to me.
Yeah,
now,
because it's cheap beer. Yeah.
My uncle Carl, he's a Bud Light guy.
Yeah.
I'm
a Coors Light guy.
My Meemaw, my grandma, God rest her soul. She was a Bud Light lady.
Well, it only matters if it matters,
right?
right?
She didn't want to drink. I never saw her drink anything but Bud Light if it was beer.
But I don't. Yeah, I think, and you're talking about you across the board. I don't think I've ever seen you be brand loyal
To anything, yeah.
to anything.
Except those dailies. You do like
Diet
those.
Coke. You're a Diet Coke. That's the only thing I can think of that if I
don't even care.
Yeah, I don't think he does. It's just
He prefers it though.
he does, but not enough
But
to.
it's not like he won't drink a Coke Zero.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
it's too
saying.
syrupy.
It's like,
I need a pound, 15 of them.
yeah, you're not.
God damn.
This is a dryer.
Yeah, problem, man.
Those are the
I
things
know.
that even matter to you. You're not aware of those things, and those little things don't give you incrementally any benefit in whatever you're doing, right? So if I said, hey, you want a Miller Lite or Coors Light? I know your answer would be, oh, I don't care. If you just wanted a beer, and I just hand you a beer.
So is that a demographic thing, or is that, do you know, because I'm pretty sure and now it's Miami friend syndrome, but all my friends from Miami, if you gave them the choice, they wouldn't care either. They'll drink either one.
No, there's a lot of brand
Coors
loyal
Light.
people.
Yeah, I mean,
But what are they loyal to? Is it because they specifically like the actual taste?
Yeah. You know who
or
would
they
be-
just like the brand?
I don't know him well enough.
That's what's weird to me. It's like, I understand if you like the taste, but just liking the brand, who gives a crap?
I'm trying to think. Like, I think I could see
Kind of
turkey
like
leg.
sports teams, right?
Right,
Some
it is
people are
kind of.
Coors Light guys. Some people are Bud Light guys.
I feel like I could see turkey leg if I said like, "Hey, do you want this or this?" And he'd be like, "I don't know. I can give me that one." Like I could there's not one person.
I don't know their specific
Right.
but for the most part of what I've seen, they seem to just like the alcohol. I think that's why hard seltzers got so popular.
It's definitely why they got more popular.
Is people just like, oh, they just everybody just likes to
Tastes
get out of
better,
here.
easier to drink.
We just want to get drunk. So whatever with a relatively cheap price that has okay taste, right?
Okay, here's a good question from Christine. But do you truly not care, or do you not want to awkwardly admit that you do have a preference because you don't want someone to go out of their way? Sorry, I bastardized that when I said it, but I could see how you would think that, Christine. Maybe you've trained yourself over the years. I mean, I can't see cheap beer, but if it were craft beer, right, and we had a bunch of craft beers lined up, you would definitely say, well, do you have something that's a little more IPA, right?
Another good question from the chat. Did you have a specific brand of cigarettes that you used to smoke?
Yes. But,
okay, we got a preference here.
Yeah, we got a preference.
But that made
was
a difference of
taste.
taste.
Mhm.
Like I liked, it started off with the Newports in Miami, like it was menthols.
Man, I love me a Newport.
I smoked
me
menthol cigarettes for a while, and then
Menthol's the
Marlboro
best.
menthol, yeah.
Menthol's the only cigarette. Oh, so good.
I
Gotta
never.
get those smooths. Marble smooths.
Those are strong.
Peppermint.
I did a mediums for a
Those
while.
Marlboro Smooths, did you ever have
Woo,
them?
those things
Smooth?
would clear your sinuses out.
Can we talk about smooths? Sam's
Sure.
mentioned. Did you smoke smooths? It hurt your eyes. It had so much
Yeah.
menthol in them.
Now,
It was straight up peppermint stick.
if I was bumming a cigarette, I'd smoke whatever they gave me.
Of course,
You know,
yeah.
but it's like
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
But
You know-
sometimes I'd smoke like a red or something that didn't have the
Oh.
menthol, and it would taste so dry. It would taste like I'm smoking hay.
Yeah.
But it seems like with the giant corporate beers, like okay, just take Bud Light, Miller Light. Now, I understand
All the same.
there is a taste difference, but
There is.
Look at the calories. Like the calories are the same as a hard
Yeah.
seltzer. The only calories are the alcohol. All of the flavoring is just beer flavor. Now I understand there's a tiny difference. Me and Daniel used to drink a lot of Coors Light at Orlando City games.
Yeah, because they just had it. I've always gravitated to Coors Light.
And so
For light beer.
I like a Coors Light, but if someone gave me a Miller Light or Bud Light, it would be
Not gonna care.
the same. Like I wouldn't be.
Me either. It happened at
I
Porch
couldn't even
Fest.
tell you why one was better than the other, and I don't know if there is a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Right,
not like
right.
I can say, like, oh, Bud Light has a sweeter taste than, or I don't know.
Coors Light is a little sweeter, I feel like.
I feel like it's somehow drier, maybe, but that could be psychological because it's mountains and it's Colorado. Like, you know, because a lot of that, because it honestly is probably beer flavored alcohol.
Right.
You know, it's the same as a seltzer. It's just a red cherry
You know where
flavored alcohol.
You know where I am more opinionated, though, since we're talking about it? I know we got to take a break, but is in my seltzers. I am more opinionated on seltzers than I am about beers. If you give
think
me
I am too.
any
there's more
craft beer, I'll
variety.
drink one. It's fine.
Some are too syrupy.
Yeah,
Some are too malty.
Some of them are like milky and have
Yeah.
like a chalk milk taste. Some of
They
them
vary vastly.
Yeah, the one that starts with a T, that if they wanted to sponsor us, I'd say it's the best thing in the world. But the one that starts with a T, oh my God, some of their flavors, I'm like, what is this?
I don't like when they got into the margaritas and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
too
yeah.
sugary.
Too much.
You know,
Let's go. Can we get back to bubbly
lemonades
water with tons of alcohol in it?
You know, I know White Claw has now just started making vodka.
It's good too.
And White Claw, kind of like as a competitor to what the hell is the other one?
Truly. Or no,
the vodka.
High Noon?
High Noons, yeah. So it's like a White Claw High Noon. Although if you drink it, it's like tastes like a White Claw because I can't tell the difference between vodka alcohol and malt liquor alcohol. It's alcohol, right? My palate is not advanced enough.
I honestly think, and then man, that you can
and
call
I just
me,
want the alcohol.
You can call me dumb old man, and maybe Sam will agree on this. But as far as seltzers go, and I haven't tried all the local ones. I've heard there's some really good. In
Yeah.
fact, I got to get over to Tactical and try some. Like everybody,
Those are different.
Toll Road has a really good
I
one.
want to try
Yeah.
Toll Roads. I want to try the craft ones, but. Dumb old man, I like a White Claw lime, White Claw grapefruit. That's it. That's fine with me. Those two are fine. That's my.
Yeah.
That is my Bud Light. That's my Coors Light. Like because all the seltzers are so crazy now. White Claw lime, and if I have it narrowed down to one, White Claw lime. I'm
Yeah,
fine with that.
same.
White Claw lime is boss.
Yeah.
It's the best flavor. It tastes like a yummy Sprite, and it makes my eyes cross a little bit because it's got a lot of alcohol in it. So
Did Corona ever come back from Corona? Like,
you know what?
I don't think they really went away.
I don't.
No, I don't think they went away, but I'm saying they suffered a
They
hit.
did suffer a hit, but I've been seeing it. People are drinking it.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
seeing people drinking like crazy.
They had it at the air show as the only option. Good job, air show. I know I'm bitching on
They got it for a discount.
Maybe that's why I've been seeing it out at events because I see it out at events all the time.
Like, we got to make a comeback.
Corona.
The military pop-up that brought the grandkids to the air show. Do you think you're drinking Corona? He wants a GD Bud Light. Anyway, all right, bye-bye.
That's funny. Good segments talking about weirdo shit.
So that is March 16th.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry to go so hard with the crow thing. I just
Oh, no. I didn't think, dude. I'm glad you did.
because I hope I'm
I like
wrong
it when
and
we
someone
get
can.
we need to get in a few more little like what the fuck are, we need to do that. It's good.
Well, hopefully a listener will give us the
Somebody knows
information
how to do it.
or someone can call. Someone that's a crow expert can tell us.
A crowologist?
Is our air broken?
Maybe.
There we go. Because we don't walk in there, that's why. And it's been reset. It's got that little saving us money, but burning us out of here. All right, let's see. That is AC. What day is that day? Thursday. And it's the
16th.
Thank you.
So we'll come back and do Tuesday 2 with Tony, and if we
Tuesday 3.
I'm sorry, Tuesday 3, and we'll probably do 3 and 4, and then if we feel up to it, we could even do a segment for that Friday.
Let's do as much as we can.
Getting a just because next week maybe I have no idea what the schedule is going to be.
Yeah. Did we make that 1 and 2?
Yes.
I thought those were good segments. All right. Oh my God, it's lunch. All right. Well, guys, I guess after lunch we're coming back with Tony Monget, and yeah, it should be fun.